Hi everybody, it's Ellen again. I have another tutorial for you. This time I am going to show you how to make the ruffle bracelet. I call it the ruffle because it kind of reminds me of the old tuxedo ruffly shirts that guys used to wear. I don't know, just that's what it reminds me of, so that's what I'm calling it. Thinking about this bracelet, it is neat in a lot of different ways. For one, it's made on one loom with even pin bars, so you can't beat that. And if you'll notice, on one side I kind of have the big old, I guess, ruffles, I'm calling them, poking out, and then the other side is the other side end of the ruffle, so it kind of has a versatile look, whatever side you want to use. If you don't want to pull these out, you know, all the way out and kind of be all extravagant, I guess, then you can just leave them in so that they're kind of even on both sides. Here I pulled them out, but a little bit to show the difference. So, and they just kind of tuck up under on the other side. Lots of different options. Couple things, like this one, I just used one band for poking out, and I think it looks very pretty that way too, but if you want to get a little crazy, then you can use or do these. This one has two bands. Or, let's see, this one is two bands, or this one is actually three bands. You'll notice this is a jelly band bracelet. I would definitely recommend, if you're going to do three bands, that you use slippery jelly bands to do it, because there'll be way too many bands on a couple different pins that will make it very hard to loop it, and you'll probably end up breaking your hook or breaking your bands. So, definitely, even starting with one, it looks very pretty. Two is pretty good, but if you go to three or more, then you're going to want to use probably a metal hook of some sort to make it. But I'm going to show you how to make this. Half of it is one loom length, so I'll show you how to extend it as well. So it'll be, let's get started. So, like I said, one loom is how I'll start. It's even pin bars. So first we're going to lay the color, the white color on mine here. So it's kind of the diamond pattern down the middle is what we're going to start with. And that's exactly what it is. We'll start here on the middle pin and then go out to the left, back into the middle, out to the left, all the way up the loom. So just like this. Out. And you're just going to do this little zigzaggy pattern all the way up the left side. Just kind of keep pushing your bands down too, because we do have lots more bands to put on. Like that. And once you get up that side, then you'll come back and you'll do the other side the same way in the zigzag pattern. So in the middle, out to the right, and then back into the center. So we're just making a little diamond. Do that all the way up the loom. I really like this bracelet because it looks like it's something that would take multiple looms to make, but it's just one loom, and I think that's awesome. Alright, so you get to the end here, like that. Those little diamonds. Then we're going to fill out the centers of these first. It is important that you do the center first and not the sides. Once you're kind of making this on your own and you're not using my tutorial, unfortunately. But if you want these bands to be able to poke out both sides and have the same look as the bracelets that I've made, it is important to lay the center first. Otherwise, one side will be trapped underneath the diamonds here, and you won't be able to You won't be able to pull them anyway but up, so they'll be poking out like this on one side. You won't have the option to change it up if you want, and you won't even see these little pieces here. So, middle first. And what we're going to do in the middle is just make a little plus sign. And here is where it can be a little tricky, because this is where we have to add the bands that we want to come out the sides, or that we want to poke out. The bands that run from the middle to the left and the middle to the right are the ones that will poke out of your bracelet. So if you want one band, you just have one band going for both sides, or two bands or three bands. For me, I'm going to have the middle will be one band, middle to the bottom there. This is one band. I wouldn't recommend any more because we already have enough on the loom pins anyways, and you won't really see the difference. So just one here, and then here's where you get to choose how many bands you want to poke out. I'm just going to do two, light orange and a dark orange, and then one band here, and then two bands to this side. So these are the ones that are going to poke out. So it's kind of keep that in mind as you're laying your bands, so you keep the same pattern too. So I have one band, I'm going to have two bands that poke out, and one band, and two bands. And we're just going to make this plus sign in every diamond up the loom. So one band, I'm going to lay two, but like I said, just be careful how many bands you lay there, because you might not be able to loom it, because there might be, it does get pretty tight because we do have some end caps that go on, we have more bands that go on. So I haven't tried any more than three, and the three I did were the jelly bands, so, and those are slippery. At least mine are. That's usually why I don't use them in tutorials, because they're a lot more finicky and don't stay where I want them to sometimes. We're just making that plus sign all the way to the end of the loom. Like that. So now we have a plus sign in the middle of every diamond. And while we're here, we might as well do our end caps on to the centers of these. You're not going to see it in the design, so it doesn't necessarily matter what color it is. I think I've looked for them and mine are kind of buried, so I mean, I don't think it really pops out for color wise very much. Don't quote me on that, because if you now you find them. So I'm just double wrapping them around the centers here. Alright, so now we have all that done. Now we're going to come back and we're going to lay what basically amounts to, I guess, a T, or once we're all finished it kind of looks like we have boxes wrapped around our diamonds. So but we're going to start, and if you plan to extend it with me, you're going to want to place some L-shaped bands here in the corner, because we turn our loom around and this will be the end that's open, so this is where we'll connect it to the other half. So if you're going to connect it with me, then you'll want to put a band here and a band here. And we'll just do the other side now so we don't forget. So just like that, if you're going to connect it with me. Otherwise, if you're not, then you can just close this diamond up at the top and you'll have just one spot that's open, and you can do your single chain extension or whatnot there. So now what we need to do is we're basically going to make a little T or half a plus sign or half a starburst, or however you want to look at it, in this little spot right here. So I'm just going to start here, here, and here. Just like that, and we're going to fill up every empty space up the side like that. So just go up one, go over to the right, and then up. So you just got like a little T. And just do that all the way up the left side. Except for the last half spot there. This will be the start of our bracelet, so we're going to leave this empty right here. So you'll stop here. Then we'll come back and do the other side. So we already laid our bands here if you're going to extend it with me. But then you just go up to the next spot and set them for that T. And here now you can kind of see I made a little box over our diamond. So that's why I said it depends how you look at it. So just go up the rest of the loom on the right side. Oh, sorry, I probably should have mentioned this a little earlier, but these bands that we're putting on are the yellow bands that I have here. So you'll see those, and they're kind of, they poke out pretty good. Sorry about that. But again, we'll just stop when we get to here and leave this spot open. So there's that. Now, of course, everybody's favorite, more end caps. So the end caps are what's going to hold the sides together. You do see them quite a bit in the design, so I'm just doubling them. If you're extending it again with me, you're going to want end caps right here on the corners for extending it. So I can get them on. And then however you want to look at it, either you're going to put one in the center of the T here, right here, or you can just look at it, it's on the corner of every box. You need end caps. So just like that. So either the center of the T or the corner of the boxes. And just do that all the way up the loom to the end. I'm just double looping these. And last one, like that. So, again, we laid our diamond first, then we laid our centers to the diamond, then we went up one side and laid that kind of T pattern, and then up the other side and laid the other T pattern. And then end caps on the centers of all the T's and the plus signs. So that is everything on the loom. So we're just going to turn this around and we'll start looming out. And we're going to start by doing the sides first. So you're going to go in over under your end cap and just pull everything back towards itself. Like that. And then just go on up one side and then go up the other side. And through the centers and loom them out. As you work, you can definitely see we're building up the end, building up what's on the pins for bands. So, and when you get to the end here, you'll just loom this out, the 2 bands. So then come back to the beginning and do the other side. In through the end caps. It's such a habit to grab the next band and pull it over, since they're in a row like that. And the end, that. So now we have all the sides loomed out. Now we'll come back and we'll do our centers. So just go in through that end cap and just however many bands you have here on the sides, loom those out. And see, here's what I mean. So right now there's 6 bands to go through on the side. So if you add another band in there, now you have 8 to go through. So I mean, you could really put a little stress on your hook if you're not careful. So that's why probably no more than 2 with a regular hook. So get the center loomed out. So it looks like that. And just do that all the way up the loom. And last one. Just like that. So we have all the centers loomed out. Now we're just going to come back to the beginning and loom up the, I guess if you laid your bands the same way as I did, then it should be the left side. I didn't put an end cap here just because this creates one. You certainly can if you want to, if you like the look of it, I guess. So I'm just going to loom it out. So top here, bottom band here, and then it'll be the top band in here. And it's hard to see for me. I'm just grabbing, sorry, it's definitely a little harder to see. I'm trying to keep my head out of the way and my hands out of the way, and so you guys can see. This side's just a little rougher looping it, so you have to get that top band in the middle, and there are quite a few bands there, but the right side's easier because it's just the bottom band all the way up. So and last one here. Hope you like my close-up there. So you got one up one side, so now we'll go up the other side. And like I said, this one's a little easier because it's just going in and grabbing that bottom band. There are a lot of bands here in the middle, so kind of be wary of that. And last one. Alright, so that is all of the looming that has to be done. So now we can take this off. You just need to put your hook here in the center one. These ones are closed off on the sides, so right in the center. And pull it off. And there's what it looks like. We need to do a little tugging. If you'll notice, I just have, because I pulled my bands up pretty tight on the top, they're a little loose on the bottom, so to fix that, got a little one going the wrong way. To fix that, you'll take your hook, if you have that issue. Take your hook, go in and just kind of pull them back up a little bit. But I'll do that later. But that's what it looks like. You do have to kind of finagle things around, and if you want these things to poke out, go ahead and grab them and pull them like that. So now I'll show you how to extend it. This is the loom setup for the extension. On the red arrow side, originally I had you put that little L here. This time it's just going to be the end of the diamond, so there won't be anything else here, because this will be the end of the bracelet now. And the other end, originally we just had the diamond, so this time we're going to have the bands, just one band coming down of your side color here, because then this will all fit on here, and here's our end caps to put on here. Alright, so first we're just going to start by taking everything that is in the center. Hopefully, I guess you still have it on your hook. We're just going to take all of that and put it on the middle pin, which is sometimes easier said than done. Just put all that on the middle pin. Like that. So everything on the middle pin, then you're going to grab your end cap and pull it over on each side. Like that. And then the only thing that you would need to change around for continuity of the bracelet design down the center is where these the white bands are in relation to the top bands here. So what I mean by that is first we're going to have to do some looming out. Normally you would just do your looming out of the sides all the way up and then come back and do your centers. But since I'm just going to show you the things you need to fix, I'm just going to loom up a little bit on these. I'm actually going to go up to the next square here. Different hook. And there. I'm just looming up a little bit so that I can have this center design the way it's supposed to be for the rest of the bracelet too. So just this part doesn't matter as much, just what's down here. So once you get you'll loom up both sides, and then when you come back and you do the center, which my end cap went away somewhere. When you do the centers, just pull your bands back where they need to go, and then when you get to the one that comes down to this pin, you're going to want to remove your middle color, which in my case is the white. Remove that from the pin, and you can hang on to them or put a hook in them or however you want to, but I think I'm actually stretchy enough where I'm going to reach in through my end cap and just pull this band over, and then I'll replace these bands so that now this part of the design is trapped underneath my middle diamond bands. And that's really the only difference that needs to be changed when you're doing the connection of the bracelets. So other than that, loom up both sides, then loom up your centers, and you should be able to take it off then. So I will loom this up, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I take it off. Okay, so I have everything loomed now, and of course when I had you switch this band underneath, you probably want to do it on the underside as well. So this band right here, because I had laid it down and then I attached the extension, it's actually outside of the white perimeter bands underneath. So to fix it, you can either take it all the way off the loom, all the extension that you put on off the loom, or you can just stick your hook in there, grab that band and slide it off the pin, and then stick your hook back down there, put it in between the white bands underneath here, or the middle banding, and then bring it back up where it's supposed to be. It's not a huge deal unless, of course, you want to really have the versatile side of the bracelet where you can have it kind of poofy on one side and then the other side not. So that's up to you if you want to switch it or not. Usually I don't, because it's on the inside of your wrist and I don't think about it. So sorry about that right now, but I guess if you want to change that, you'll need to reband that one, or just it's not too difficult. I did do it on this bracelet. Just a matter of taking this band and sticking it under, just moving it so it's not interrupting the flow of the white bands. So you can see how I kind of tucked it underneath there. So everything else is loomed out, ready to take it off. So I'm just going to stick my hook in the end here, take it off. looks better this time. Alright, put a C-clip here quickly. Alright, so if you kind of look at it right now, that's how it's, obviously this side's a little bit bigger, but that's how it would look if you just kind of had them, the little parts that poke out even. Otherwise you just grab a hold of them and pull them out however you want. And I like them pulled out. Gives it a little bit of flair. It does take a little adjusting to get the bracelet how you want it, with the middle stripe, getting that set correctly, and then here's our connection. And you'll see it kind of got the orange band underneath, kind of not. So I mean, it's not, I missed it actually, so it's not super noticeable even if you don't fix it. So. But that is how you make my ruffle bracelet. I hope it was easy for you to follow and that you liked it, and I definitely like this bracelet, as you can tell by the number of them that I've made. So as always, thank you for watching number 1. I wouldn't have any reason to make videos if nobody was watching. And if you ever have any questions about something that you're stuck on and how I explain something or anything like that, you know, leave me a comment. It's important for me to be able to help you make these designs. Otherwise I wouldn't be posting tutorials on them. I definitely just appreciate that you guys are taking the time to make this stuff, and there's nothing cooler than going around town and seeing someone wearing one of my designs. I mean, that's really awesome. So, but thank you again for watching. I'll have more tutorials soon.